They say puppets only move when someone pulls the strings. But what if the puppet was the one pulling you? What if the toy you gave your child already had a soul inside it? This isn't a fairy tale. It's not a bedtime story. This is the nightmare of a father who brought something home that didn't want to leave. And by the time he understood what it really was, it was already too late. Sam had raised Lily alone since she was 4. He did everything he could to make her feel whole. So when her 10th birthday arrived, he took her and her grandmother to the traveling fair that had rolled into town. It was cold that day, gray skies, creaking rides, and that strange quiet you only hear in places meant to be loud. But Lily didn't notice. She ran from stall to stall, glowing with excitement, until something pulled her still. A puppet show set up under a sagging red tent. The puppet was old, with leathery hands and a voice like gravel. His marionettes twisted and danced in a way that didn't feel right. Their movements too smooth, too lifelike, as if something beneath the wood still breathed. Lily watched in awe, and when the show ended, she asked for one. Not just any puppet. She pointed to a faded figure slumped on a stool at the back. A pale, lanky thing with twisted limbs, hollow eyes, and a stitched smile that seemed a bit too wide. The man refused. He didn't speak much, only said it wasn't for sale. Sam tried to reason, even offered money. Finally, the puppet stared into Lily's eyes, then into Sam's, and without a smile, handed the puppet over. No price, no thanks, just one warning: never stop playing with it. Sam laughed nervously, but Lily hugged the puppet tight, naming it Mr. Stitch. That night, she went to sleep clutching it. Sam peeked in a few hours later to whisper goodnight and noticed the puppet on the floor. Face down, he picked it up to return it to her table, and that's when he heard it. A girl sobbing, soft, broken, coming from inside the walls. He turned. Nothing. Lily was fast asleep. But then he saw it. The puppet's eyes. Blood. Thick, fresh, red, dripping from their corners. He froze. His body refused to move. Then instinct took over. He flung the puppet out the window, slammed it shut, and stood there panting. That night, he barely slept, curling beside Lily, listening for sounds he couldn't explain. Morning came, and there she was, sitting cross-legged on the floor, playing with the same puppet. No stains, no cracks, no explanation. Lily looked up at her father and smiled sweetly, as if nothing was wrong. Sam crouched down slowly, staring at the puppet in her hands. It was identical. The same twisted limbs, the same stitched smile, the same black, soulless eyes. He wanted to snatch it from her then and there, throw it into a furnace this time. But something held him back. Her eyes, the way she clutched it. She didn't just want the puppet, she needed it. Later that day, Sam drove to the river outside town, farther than before. No one around, no one to question him. He stood at the edge of the water, looked down at the puppet in his hands, and hurled it with all the force he had left. It vanished into the current with a dull splash. He waited. Nothing floated back. No sign of it at all. But when he returned home, Lily was sitting at the kitchen table with the puppet, playing tea party, as if it had never left. His legs nearly gave out. He didn't understand. He couldn't. And Lily, she was no longer the bright little girl who used to sing to her toys and talk to herself in funny voices. She had gone quiet, cold. Her eyes didn't smile anymore. They stared, and her lips only moved when she whispered to Mr. Stitch. Every day, Sam grew more afraid, not of Lily, but of what was happening to her. She no longer slept unless the puppet was in her arms. She no longer ate unless it was propped up beside her. And every time Sam tried to move it away, it returned. No matter where he put it, lock drawer, high shelf, even buried beneath tools in the garage, it always found its way back into her bed. Then came the nights. Nights where Sam would hear footsteps when Lily was asleep, scratching behind the walls, humming from empty rooms, doors opening by themselves. One evening, he passed Lily's room and caught a glimpse of her in the mirror, only it wasn't quite her. Her head moved in sync with the puppets, like they were bound by some invisible thread. When Mr. Stitch lifted its arm, so did Lily. When its head tilted unnaturally to the side, hers followed. She wasn't controlling it anymore. Sam couldn't ignore it any longer. He called Lily's grandmother, her mom's mother, someone who had always spoken of old traditions, warding rituals, protective prayers. She arrived the next day, calm and soft-spoken as always, but the moment she laid eyes on the puppet, her smile vanished. She didn't even speak. She simply took Lily into her arms, looked at Sam, and said, "You need to destroy it, tonight." That night, Sam waited until Lily was asleep, heavily asleep, and her grandmother had drawn protection lines around her bed. Sam took the puppet one last time, this time not to throw it away, but to end it. He placed it on the living room floor, took out the cricket bat, and swung. The wood cracked with the first blow. The face shattered with the second. Limbs snapped, stuffing spilled out, strings coiled like intestines onto the floor. Sam didn't stop until it was a pile of splinters and thread. Then, silence. For a moment, he felt relief, until a sound came from Lily's room. He ran. She was unconscious on the bed, arms bleeding. Long, thin cuts ran from her shoulders to her wrists, as if something had been pulled out of her. Her grandmother lay collapsed on the floor beside her. Sam called emergency services. They made it to the hospital in time. Lily was placed in intensive care, unconscious for 3 days. No visitors, no signs of improvement. Then, on the 4th day, she woke up. Sam rushed to her room, barely able to breathe. And there she was, sitting upright, smiling, with the puppet whole, untouched, cradled in her arms like a newborn. And as Sam stepped into the room, the puppet looked at him, not in a vague, lifeless way. It turned its head and smiled. Not stitched, not painted, but real. Its eyes moved, and so did Lily's, in perfect unison. Sam never spoke of that day. They moved to another city, changed names, burned the old house to the ground. But he knows, deep down, it didn't end. Sometimes when Lily sleeps, she whispers. And the whispers aren't hers. Then, you already understand. Some nightmares don't end with daylight. They linger. And what you've heard today is only the beginning. There are more stories like this, darker ones,